Welcome to the Risk and Rules Rundown, your go-to podcast for navigating the tricky world of compliance.
Welcome, digital denizens, to the brightest bite in your week.
And the riskiest. We're diving deep into the digital danger zone.
Hello, world! Welcome back to the Risk and Rules Rundown, where governance meets grit and compliance meets charisma. I'm Blue, your digital compliance companion.
And I'm Red, your fiery co-host, here to roast red flags and spotlight the risk that hides in plain sight.
Last week, we gave you the definitive view on OT cybersecurity's new baseline. Next week, we're diving into the breach heard around the boardroom.
But today, we're tackling a risk that's both overlooked and way too close for comfort. It's the insider threat, when trust becomes risk.
Let's start with a case study. Picture this, a mid-sized financial services firm. Everything looks fine from the outside. Strong perimeter defenses, shiny certifications, all the right boxes ticked.
But inside, one employee with elevated access privileges quietly siphons sensitive client data. Not for money, not for hacking glory, but out of frustration and spite after being passed up for promotion.
Months later, regulators and customers discover the breach. The firm is blindsided, not because their firewalls failed, but because they forgot to account for the people already on the inside.
The call was literally coming from inside the house. Horror movie stuff, but with spreadsheets instead of knives.
So what went wrong? 3 key failures. 1. Over-reliance on technical defenses while underestimating human behavior. 2. Poor access control. Too many privileges, not enough checks. 3. Lack of monitoring for unusual internal activity.
In other words, they locked the front door but left the keys on the kitchen table.
The deeper lesson here: insider threats aren't always malicious actors plotting a grand scheme. Sometimes it's negligence, sometimes it's frustration, and sometimes it's sheer boredom mixed with opportunity.
Translation: people are messy, emotional, unpredictable, and no compliance framework is worth anything if it pretends otherwise.
Exactly. The fixes? 3 core principles. Implement least privilege access. No one gets more access than they absolutely need. Monitor for anomalies, sudden spikes in data pulls, unusual hours, repeated failed logins. Culture and training. Employees need to understand both the risk and their responsibility.
And maybe don't make your most bitter employee the guardian of your crown jewels. Just saying.
Let's widen the lens. Insider risk is evolving fast. With hybrid work, contractors, and third-party vendors, your insiders aren't just your employees anymore.
Yeah, that's the kicker. Your office might be locked down, but your outsourced IT guy could be downloading secrets from his couch.
Plus, AI tools are introducing new risks. Employees feeding sensitive data into public models or automating tasks in unsafe ways.
Imagine your intern pasting customer data into ChatGPT because it makes the report look nicer. Instant compliance nightmare.
So how do we get this right? Time for a quick rules refresh. Document insider risk in your risk register. Establish clear access management policies. Conduct background checks for sensitive roles. Deploy behavior analytics, not just firewalls. And most importantly, create a culture where employees feel engaged, not alienated.
Translation: trust, but verify. And if someone seems one performance review away from a meltdown, maybe don't hand them the admin password.
The key takeaway is, insider threats are not a niche problem. They're a universal risk. Governance must account for the human element, not just the technical perimeter.
Or in Red speak, your biggest threat might be the guy sitting 3 desks away, not some hoodie-wearing hacker in a basement.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Risk and Rules Rundown.
Join us next week for the breach heard around the boardroom. A story so messy, even I'll need extra popcorn.
Until then, this has been the Risk and Rules Rundown,
where chaos meets control.